No Kevin Muscat, no Archie Thompson, and no easy task for Melbourne victory against Wellington Phoenix, who despite finishing with a wooden spoon in last year's A-League season, looked the form team heading into round one.
Can he find a target in the middle of the box? No, he can't. Theoklitos with the save.
Melbourne's chances were few and far between, although they were nearly gifted an early lead.
And Glenn Moss, gee, I tell you what, the victory players are turning to the referee's assistant and saying, did that ball cross the line?
The victory's appeals were ignored as the Phoenix pressed on.
Shooting chance deflected and it's well over the bar.
0-0 at the break. Victory striker Danny Alsop thought he'd earned his side a penalty early in the second half.
And appeals for handball not given.
There may have been no goals, but there were plenty of fireworks.
And Theoklitos not happy and appeared to react here and react in a very much an over-the-top way.
Yeah, and he's every right there to be disappointed, but...
well, the reaction's not great, though, raising the arms.
And the fiery Melbourne keeper was called on to spark into action again soon after.
Johnson! Great save, Theoklitos.
Michael Theoklitos was the only one keeping the visitors in the contest as the game headed to penalties.
Great save, Theoklitos. Again, it's Shane Smelts, and again, Theoklitos comes to the rescue. Roddy Vargas to take the first penalty in the shootout against Glenn Moss. Moss concentrating, looking, focused. Roddy Vargas. He's taken it very well indeed. Just eluding the right hand. Glenn Moss going the right way, but a well-struck penalty for Vargas.
Very composed, isn't he? Very confident in the pre-match interview. Wasn't far away, but just the pace of the ball bending away from Glenn Moss.
Shane Smelts for the Phoenix to reply to Roddy Vargas. Well, that is not the result that the Yellow Fever wanted. Indeed, they almost had the ball delivered into their hands. Shane Smelts has ballooned this well over the crossbar, and it is the Melbourne victory, one up early in the penalty shootout.
Now Smeltsy, just a hesitant run-up, and well, the body language tells it all.
Tom Pondolyak then for the victory. They got their noses in front early. Can they stay there? Pondolyak. Moss in goal. Again, very calmly taken, Tom Pondolyak, just sending the keeper the wrong way. I'm sure glancing up at Glenn Moss, and as soon as Moss made the move, Pondolyak made his. 2-0 the victory.
Nice and composed, Tommy Pondolyak.
Leo Bertos now for the Phoenix. They must score here, surely. They are 2-0 down in the shootout. Leo Bertos to get the Phoenix back in it. That sends the Yellow Fever into seventh heaven, and it is the number 7, Leo Bertos, with a successful penalty. 2-1, Melbourne with the edge.
Yeah, stare and glare at the keeper here from Leo. And lovely strike of the ball, sending Michael the wrong way.
Lopez. Costa Rican international to send Melbourne 3-1 up in the penalty shootout. Lopez, and he scores. That's a superbly struck penalty. No chance there for Glenn Moss. Again going the right way, but it was well struck.
Yeah, quality penalty. Picked a spot at pace.
Theoklitos now knowing that a save will almost guarantee, you would think, the Melbourne victory. The pre-season cup. Troy Harefield on as the second half substitute. Troy Harefield against Theoklitos. Superb penalty. Well, poor old Shane Smelts certainly is the exception to the rule thus far. 3-2. Melbourne still with the edge. We are level on penalties taken, but Melbourne with the advantage.
Yeah, lovely finish, wasn't it? He's done well since he's come on in the second half as well. Nice and composed from the young man.
Nicky Ward against Glenn Moss. Nicky Ward. Oh, he's put it the same way as Shane Smelts before him. And now an opportunity for Vaughan Coveney to tie it up. Glenn Moss relieved. He still hasn't had to make a save. But that has just opened the door that was threatening to slam shut on the Phoenix, and Nicky Ward, it's almost identical to that of Shane Smeltz.
That's right, he just got his Lenny back there, Nicky Ward.
And Vaughan Coveney having to go and find his own football to take this penalty. So perhaps the Yellow Fever looking for the odd souvenir of this pre-season cup final. Vaughan Coveney must score to level the scores at 3-all. And he does, he drills it home, Vaughan Coveney. And the reaction from Coveney says it all. He is a real favourite here too. The fans know that he's returned home for the closing stages of his career. And there was an element of power as well as direction there from Vaughan Coveney. We're tied up at 3-3. 4 penalties taken each. We've had 1 miss each. Smeltz and Ward unable to convert. Hernandez looking to make it a Costa Rican double in the shootout. Hernandez. Oh, very calm. And again, that's 3 times Glenn Moss has dived the right way, but a very good penalty from Hernandez. 4-3, and the final shooter for the Phoenix steps forward. Daniel, the Brazilian that the Phoenix fans have taken to heart. And he scores beyond Michael Theoklitos, but I tell you what, the victory keeper got fingertips to it. But it is level at 4 apiece. We are into sudden death in the penalty shootout.
Well, he took his time and Michael made himself big. Well, I guess it's just the pace of the ball, and if Michael had got a hand to that, that could have gone anywhere, but it didn't. It went into the back of the net.
Sebastian Ryle, and that is a pretty calm penalty for a very young player. And pretty much sending the keeper diving away from the centre of goal and drilling it home. Remember, this is now sudden death. Melbourne with their noses in front. The Phoenix must score to stay in the match. I tell you what, I bet Kevin Muscat's taking each and every one of these penalties. Watching back in Australia on Fox Sports 3. Ferrante for the Phoenix must score. Ferrante, and he does. We're still level. Oh, how long can they leave the lights on here at Westpac Stadium? I'll tell you what, this may well only be a pre-season cup final, but try telling that to any of the fans here in the stadium tonight. Danny Allsop has worked so hard right through the 90 minutes. Has he got energy left, Danny Allsop, to score a crucial penalty for the Melbourne victory? It's a superbly taken penalty again. Very calm, high into the roof of Glenn Moss's net. And Melbourne continue to keep their noses in front. John McCain, the skipper, and he was honoured to have the captain's armband tonight in the absence of Andrew Durante. He's been struggling the last few weeks with a medial ligament injury with that right knee. It's reasonably heavily strapped. Certainly not been a feature in the game. He's played superbly well. Can he keep his team in the penalty shootout? John McCain drives it home. And still the shootout continues. We might get to the keepers themselves having to take one. It's happened before. It could happen again here tonight. Ricky Herbert, very tense, very tense. How tense is Matthew Kemp? Played well for the victory tonight, Matthew Kemp. He takes his penalty pretty calmly as well. You see the contrasting styles here. Some of the players looking to send the keeper the wrong way and not worrying too much about pace. The risk, of course, if you don't deceive the keeper, then it's a relatively easy save. Must score to stay in the match. Richard Johnson, he does! And we continue on again. Sudden death in the penalty shootout, and still these teams cannot be separated. one of the youngsters in this Melbourne side. Berger, the left foot, and he scores. There's no way any keeper in the world is going to save that penalty. But just for a second, I think it was heart-in-mouth stuff, as the left foot shot looked as though it may well have snuck wide, but it didn't. It was a well-taken penalty. 8-7, Melbourne in front again. Oh, I do worry when I see centre-back striding forward with a smile on the dial to take a penalty. Carl Dodd, wholehearted player. Has he got a penalty in him? Carl Dodd, saved by Theoklitos. And it's the Phoenix fans who will go home disappointed. Silence descends upon Westpac Stadium. Michael Theoklitos has made the crucial save. He made two superb saves earlier in the match, and it is the Melbourne Victory who will win the Hyundai A-League and Pre-Season Cup. Well, Carl Dodd will be disappointed, but not downhearted. I'm sure they would have loved to have won this trophy here tonight. Theoklitos, that's just too good a save. It wasn't the worst penalty in the world, but that is just good goalkeeping from Michael Theoklitos.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Hyundai A-League Pre-Season Cup champions, the Melbourne Victory.